The year started on a bad note for taxpayers due to the reversal of measures imposed by the government to cushion Kenyans from COVID-19, and as it stands now, you and I are going to feel the heat even longer as the National Treasury, appearing before the Senate Finance Committee, says that the ministry plans to borrow more funds both internally and externally. The move could spell doom for business operators in the country, with the likelihood of their avenues of earning their daily bread could plummet due to lending their capital to the national government.
We will have to borrow a bit from the market, both domestically and externally, from our concessional and from our multilateral lenders.
What do you mean borrow a bit? You are going to borrow heavily. That is not a bit.
Yes. Chair, yes, Senator, will be borrowing through two sources. One, domestic borrowing, which is from our domestic market. We'll also have a proportion that will be coming from external. And this is project financing, which is usually for most of the projects which are financed through concessional financing.
This coming hot on the heels of the Central Bank of Kenya warning that the country was fast speeding towards the 9 trillion debt ceiling set by Parliament in 2019. The senators, however, were irked by the Treasury statement, despite the ministry projecting the economic growth to 7%, which to them is over-ambitious.
The targets that we have are not ambitious. Actually, I wouldn't say they are conservative, and I will say it this way. First, on the growth, and the growth of 7% this year is chair on the given, and I'm talking from I'm not a statistician, but I will speak from a statistical point of view, because we are dealing with just a base effect, a very low contraction, and then you expect a recovery.
In its latest weekly bulletin released February 12, Central Bank of Kenya CBK estimated the country's public debt at 7.3 trillion as of December 2020. Borrowed externally, this comprises of 3.5 trillion borrowed locally and 3.8 trillion borrowed externally. Several organizations have in the recent past warned that the Kenya's debt appetite could land the country into economic problems and call for caution in borrowing.
In fact, Chair, I want to say that we had a meeting with the Governor Central Bank, and we have been working very closely with them, because we also sit in the macro working group to look at all these numbers together. Their number is slightly higher than 7. I've also seen what the IMF put out the other day. Their growth for this year is 7.6, and a few others. So it's basically because of the assumptions we are taking on recovery of the tourism sector.
The government is already at odds over the rising debt in the country. The country's second in command now says that the government's heavy borrowing could cripple the economy.
Tukihakikisha ya kwamba hapa chini watu wengi tumewapatia uwezo wa kufanya biashara, hawa wananchi watalipa ushuru, na sisi kama serikali tutakuwa na pesa ya kuendesha serikali. Hatutakuwa tunatafuta madeni kutoka China na mahali ingine ambayo sasa inatuletea kisirani.